guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wayne Gaming. It's somebody me on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming at you with a new Let's Play series on Devil's Gambit. Going just by the art, this looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, y'all. Looks like we're going for some high fantasy stuff here. Look at that big snoot. Look at that big snoot. But yeah, not a dragon. Okay. But yeah, I have no idea what this game is about. I'm very interested in it. The art style looks great, so let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty. Let's do it! It was born among screams, there in Renai, where the day is enshrouded in a frigid mist and orange lights swim up the night, where beyond the forest the mountains have eyes and ruins and trees alike grow out of a scar, its roots spread across the earth, touching all that dared seek it. Act 1, Chapter 1, Hector. One morning, a lion knight has invited us into a wagon, clean, relatively silent, with splinter-free seats. As it took us into the forest, Dad made me read him a book, since I was falling behind in my studies. However, the twisted trees greeting us through the front opening, past the wolf coachman, stole all my attention. Despite his stern gaze and him telling me to read a sentence over again, my head was full of what happened in the tavern the day before. While Dad drank with the wolves, I talked to the keeper's daughter, a girl about my age with gray fur, round eyes, and an impish smile by the name of Teresa. She asked typical questions. Why were my ears so round and my nose so big? Where did I come from? When the girl got bored, she shot a glance at the adult before showing me that toothy smile. You know, there are demons in the forest. The lions say they're gone, but they aren't. What? You know that expedition the Duke did a while ago? Well, it was demons that killed his soldiers. The demons did it. What pride that last remark had carried. Eventually, the path led us to an open area, and the wagon came to a halt. We got off and saw, past our fading breath, a mansion that seemed more like a castle, tall and white, with a tower for every corner. A small garden separated us from the steps that led up to the entrance. Standing among the bushes, tulips, and pebbles at his feet was a young wolf staring up at a window. His clothes were modest, his nape gray, and his hands and his face white, sort of like a badger. When he noticed us and turned around, I got a good look at his blue yet fiery eyes. It lasted enough to make his distrust palpable. Then he shot the window with a last glance before turning to face the nearby trees and began tossing pebbles toward the crooked branches. Hector! Oh, yes, Dad? You're so scatterbrained today. I'm sorry. A guard is coming. Pay attention and remember to greet him the way I taught you. A tall lion wielding a spear shook hands with my father. It's an honor to be in your presence, sir. I am Eugen, and this is my son, Hector. Opened my mouth, but the guard cut in. We've been expecting you, Doctor. Please step inside. His Grace will want to see you post-haste. So, you know. Alright. And so Dad forgot all about my greeting. We followed the guard inside and upstairs. I was told to wait on the lower floor and that if I needed anything, to call one of the other guards or a servant. But I kept worrying about the greeting. I sat on the first step of the stairs, clutching my knees. I didn't think there was any moment I could have introduced myself. If Dad forgot, then maybe it wasn't important. With that as reassurance, I calmed down and looked at my surroundings. Wherever my eyes went, there were paintings, suits of armor, packed bookshelves, and display cases containing weapons or smaller cases with gems inside or other shiny things. So much wealth. It would have been taking me hundreds of lifetimes of work to build this hall. It was best not to touch anything, but I was getting bored and there was no sign of the adults returning. A stroll wouldn't hurt. Down the hallway leading further into the mansion, there were faint smells of spices, fresh clothes, and wolves. There must have been servants working there. The guards were all over the place, but most of them were down the path to my right. I figured I'd go to the left then, since I didn't want to bump into anyone. However, as I walked down the desolate hallway, my nose let me know that I wasn't alone after all. I didn't need to see him to know he was a wolf. I turned around suddenly, right in time to catch him trying to hide inside one of the empty rooms. Oh, it's you. Were you following me? What's your name? We stared at each other for who knows how long. Cadgan finally stepped forward, wearing an unflinching glare. He was shorter than me and so much skinnier. The blue of his eyes and the sheen of his fur captivated me. Get out. What? Get out of the mansion. Demons live in this forest. Oh, you're just like Teresa, trying to scare me. His ear twitches. Teresa? Mm-hmm. Are you guys friends? I'm being serious. He opened his arms, inviting me to look around. The demons chased out the people living here. They'll do the same to you because you're an outsider. They'll curse you and you'll be lucky to leave alive. I don't believe you. Teresa said they only do that if you go into the valley. Not that they are real, but if they were... Ask anyone. You'll see. It frustrated Cadgan that where he wanted fear, there was instead curiosity. Anyway, who are you? I'm Hector, and I'm training to become a doctor like my dad. Are you the son of a servant? I'm nobody's servant. I was taken aback by his sudden rage. He shoved me and I landed on my butt, and the wolf turned tail and ran away. I chased after him, but he turned a corner and I lost him. Or rather, my eyes did, but I didn't need sight to track him. I followed his trail to the garden, to a little corner hidden by bushes reaching up to my shoulders. Cadgan sat cracking open nuts with his teeth before munching on the insides. His tail swished, disturbing the brush behind him, and every once in a while he pulled on his collar, as though hot under the sun. Either I made some noise or he smelled me back because suddenly he faced my way. He gave me a taste of wolf knuckle and Renai's grass and dirt, as well as bloody nostrils. When Dad finally descended the stairs and asked what happened, I said I slipped down the steps while going to the garden. It should have been a sign to steer clear of him, but I didn't. I returned to the same spot a few days later, bringing a dozen or so nuts wrapped in a cloth. Cadgan eyed me with suspicion, but didn't hit me this time. Where did you get those? I pointed at my nose. I caught their smell when you were eating them the other day, so I went to the forest and found some. Huh. Weird you didn't get lost. All badgers are great foragers. Can I sit? I'll share some if you let me. The wolf looked away and I invited myself into the small space. I put the cloth between us. Some nuts rolled out. We ate them while talking. You haven't told me your name. Oh, you haven't told me your name. I'm Hector. You already know it. I'd like to hear it from you. Fine. Cadgan. It's a nice name. Hey, I caught your smell in the forest. Well, yes, I sneak out sometimes. Where else would I find nuts? I heard you weren't allowed out there. Aren't you afraid of the guards catching you, or of the Duke getting mad? They used to get mad, but now they know I'll be back. Dad said Cadgan was an orphan. It was better to change the subject unless I wanted an angry wolf to rough me up today, too. Dad woke up to a spider on his shoe today. Cadgan snorted. Oh, what did he say? Say, he was in the middle of putting it on when he noticed. He screamed, chased the bug around, and tossed it out the window when he caught it. Heh, must be the curse. Sure. A chuckle escaped me as well. Even Dad had gotten a laugh out of it after the fear had passed. So, when are you going to the forest next? Whenever I want, I guess. I want to come along. Cadgan made a face as though he was in deep thought. I guess you proved you can handle it. You aren't that much of a wimp. I'm not... The wolf swiped a nut from my hand, cracked it, and spat the shell out, and opened his jaw wide. After holding that position for a moment, he laughed and tossed it back to me. I caught it after it hit me in my chest. Cadgan went on about the forest. But I was still repeating what had just happened in my mind. The moment he stole the nut and cracked it, his face, his sharp teeth, his claws, each left a searing mark in my memory. Well, yeah, he's a fucking wolf! Act 1, Chapter 2. The Return. 11 years later? Whoa, Jesus. Quite the time jump. Thunder tears through the sky, startling me awake. The beasts of burden roar, the peg-legged coachman shouts, joining them as he reins them in. I grasp my chest as the old wolf subdues the creatures. He then looks back, smiling, his shape obscured by the darkness in his raincoat. You all right, boy? Huddle up, we're almost there. Yes, thank you. He refocuses on the road. I peek through the wagon's front opening, past the coachman, but all I see is rain, mud, and orange lights in the distance. He was right, judging from the last one. Were you having a pleasant dream? Yes. What about? Some beauty, I bet. Actually, it was about my first visit to Renai. So, this is your second time. I've lost count. I used to pass through every few months with my father. Oh, there's a journal. Look at that. Ah, cool. Me. I am a 26-year-old badger and a doctor. My biggest pride is my nose. I'm returning to Renai after 9 years to work for the Duke. While it's unusual for me to stay away from home for so long, the Duke offers a hefty pay, and I'm in dire need of money. Places are blonde. My hometown. Though small, it's a town with a complicated history of tyrants and bloodshed. Perhaps because of this, people here are used to enduring hardship. Dad loved a blonde, and he entrusted me with protecting it, no matter what. Magic. Oh, herbalism. The science of brewing elixirs from certain raw materials, most commonly herbs. The inherent magic within the materials is extracted and refined so that the resulting elixir will achieve a desired effect. Alright, cool. Nice that we have a journal. The coachman snaps his fingers. Right. The badger doctor and his kid. You're the kid, right? You've grown into a proper doctor. Can tell just by looking at you. You stayed in Leopoldino's mansion, if memory serves me right. Did you meet any demons? They used to say it was a mistake building in the forest, that the demons would chase him out. It wasn't haunted, no, but I don't think living in the middle of that forest is such a big empty house is healthy for the mind. Figures. Leopoldino lived there for years, and the new duke settled there right after assuming his title. You must be right. The new duke? He summoned you, right? Your daddy worked under Leopoldino, and now you work under his son. That's fate for you. What happened to Leopoldino? He died a little more than a year ago. His son took over after that. Let me tell you, if you thought Leopoldino was a beast, then his son is an actual demon. An orange light. I think a window passes by the coachman and the wagon slows down. The rain falls in full fury, droplet after droplet, bouncing off the old wolf's raincoat and splashing onto the floor. We're here, kid. Hurry and go. There's a tavern nearby. Holding my case above me, I hop off the back into the storm. The coachman shouts and the wagon departs while I try to find my way within the blur of rain and wind. I follow the window's orange glow like a lighthouse's signal, mud engulfing my shoes with every step. So close. Oh, nice. Oh, maybe not nice. Everybody's staring at him. The noise of me rushing into the building draws some gazes. A few linger, though, and in time all return to their friends, their drinks or lamp hanging from the wall. Most of the patrons are wolves, with a few lions mixed in, though the latter group doesn't look like guards. Must have gotten caught in the storm and taken refuge here, as evidenced by the occasional water drops and the wet fur smell. Sitting at a table in the corner is a lion dressed in silky clothes and a middle-aged wolf with an arm and a cast and an eye patch. The canine stares into an empty mug while the lion whispers to him. That aside, there's alcohol and the sweet smell of stew being prepared in the air, which immediately reminds me how hungry I am. Ooh. Hello to you, hot stuff. I only noticed the extraordinary thing about this tavern when I find the bar. Behind it is a gold-plated dragon, probably the largest man I've ever seen. He's already waving for me to get closer, a wide smile on his face. God, what a smile. It takes me back to the day Dad looked at me after I had treated my first patient. Hey, welcome to Arwell's Nest. I'm Arwell. Looking for food or a room? Both, please. How long are you planning to stay? I'm not sure. Let's say for a while. He inspects me from head to toe. I got a special offer for you. You get a room and 2 meals just for 25 coins a day. I cringe at those last words, but still reach inside my wallet. 25? Sorry, friend, but I know you can afford it. It's clear as day you're one of His Grace's new doctors. Never has someone ripped me off so earnestly. I could wait until the rain stops to check the other ends, but walking off after that smile would leave me with an unpleasant taste in my mouth. Besides, I can't afford it. Alright, sure, you got me. Thank you kindly. Here's your key. Arwell invites me to sit at the bar, saying lunch should be ready soon, but I would rather much unpack first. I go up the creaky staircase to the second floor and into the third door to my left. The storm's howling is like a lullaby in the dark, musty room. My eyelids get heavier, though my belly's rumblings keep the slumber at bay. I open my case on the bed to unpack, but first I look for something to dry myself with. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5 already. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!